I've got your energy stories for the fourth week of June 2023. And let's start with offshore wind. New York's first offshore wind farm, South Fork Wind, just installed its first monopile foundation, with the offshore substation to follow shortly. South Fork Wind is a 12-turbine, 130-megawatt project, and it will be the first U.S. large offshore wind farm in federal waters when commissioned by the end of this year. Staying with New York Wind, now they got to get it onshore. The New York Power grid operator, New York ISO, just selected a $3.26 billion transmission project to bring that wind onshore onto Long Island. The selected transmission project, Propel Alternate Solution 5, will deliver at least 3,000 megawatts of offshore wind energy to the state and will be developed by the New York Power Authority and New York Transco. It will add 3 new underground cables tying Long Island to the rest of New York and a 345 kilovolt transmission backbone across western and central Long Island. This project is required to be in service by May of 2030. Meanwhile, in Sweden, Frisia Offshore, a joint venture between Hexicon and Mainstream Renewable Power, just submitted an offshore wind application in Sweden notable for its size, between 2 and 2.5 gigawatts, as well as the potential scale of its future turbines. These may be as large as 30 megawatts each, which the JV expects to be commercialized by 2030. Currently, the largest turbine in the market is Min Yang's machine at 18 megawatts. Now let's move to batteries. Chinese battery giant CATL, which controls about 1/3 of the global battery market, announced a $1.4 billion investment in 2 plants to develop Bolivia's enormous lithium reserves in the Altiplano. Per Bolivia's Ministry of Energy, construction of both plants will start as early as July, with overall investment eventually reaching up to $9.9 billion during the project's lifetime. While Texas officials will require EV charging sites supported by state funds to include Tesla connectors alongside the combined charging standard connector that had been the default standard to date. This call was made in response to recent decisions by Ford, GM, and Rivian to adopt Tesla's North American charging standard, NACS. The U.S. DOE Loan Programs Office is issuing a conditional $9.2 billion loan to Ford Motor Company to support construction of 3 battery factories that are already underway. This loan is the biggest federal loan to a U.S. automaker since the 2009 financial crisis bailouts. The factories are currently being built in Kentucky and Tennessee through the Blue Oval SK JV, which includes South Korea battery giant SK On. Ford intends to produce up to 2 million EVs by 2026, compared with about 132,000 last year. Also in EVs, Stellantis announced it has stopped shipping vehicles solely powered by internal combustion engines to the 14 states that follow California's strict emissions regulations. You can still buy an internal combustion engine vehicle there if you order it specially, but there will be none in inventory. And in the other states that follow emissions rules set by the feds, Stellantis won't ship EVs unless customers there order them. Stellantis is not part of the 5 automaker accord reached with California in 2020, under which average emissions of the national fleets were considered. Instead, they're measured on a state-by-state basis, hence the latest activities. And finally, Q1 U.S. hydrogen fuel cell car sales in the U.S. fell almost 30% over last year to 752 units. That's right, 752 cars. Put in context, 3.7 million vehicles were sold in the U.S. during the quarter, and 257,507 were electric during the same period. There's a reason for that. According to the DOE, there are only 59 hydrogen charging stations in the country, not exactly ubiquitous, and the round-trip efficiency, the energy put into making green hydrogen versus the energy delivered to the wheels, is about 33%, compared with about 90% round-trip efficiency for EVs with a lithium-ion battery. So RIP hydrogen vehicles, they are much more efficient and cost-effective ways of getting around. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.